All right, what's going on, Chicken Bone? Thanks for stopping by. So I took your advice. I left the LTVA and I came on out further in the desert. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about any generator fumes out here. Looks like a pretty good spot. I didn't want to leave the LTVA because, well, first reason is I got friends there. And second reason is I paid for the place. I'd like to be able to utilize it. But it's not worth it to have to breathe the generator fumes. So I thought it'd be best just to come on out here a little further out, get some fresh air. I'm only going to be here in Quartzsite until my mail comes in, and then I'll be heading on down toward Yuma and then to Mexico. But I've had trouble getting mail at the mail service place I have. It's here in town in Quartzsite. It's called Moon Mountain Mail, and most of the time they do a really good job. But they have a sign on the wall that says if it's delivered today, then it's guaranteed that you can pick it up tomorrow. Well, I wish they would be a little more honest about that, because there's some things that's kind of out of their control. Like, here's for instance, Friday at 11 a.m. I had a package delivered. So I was expecting on Saturday to get an alert saying that my package was ready to be picked up. Well, that never happened. Then, of course, Sunday, they're closed. So on Monday around noon, I went over there and they explained it to me. They said, well, it was delivered by the post office Friday at 11 a.m. And then the post office is closed on Saturday here. So they picked it up on Monday. And when I got there checking on it, they still hadn't sorted it. I did get an alert at 6:30 p.m. Monday night that I could pick it up on Tuesday. So I just want to let you know that if you have something that comes in from the Postal Service and it comes in on Friday, you're not going to be able to pick it up until Tuesday. So I hope it's not something important. So back to that sign that they have on the wall that says if it comes in today, it's guaranteed that you can pick it up the next day. That is not the case. And now I know, and now you know. I just thought it'd be valuable information for you to know about. Now, with all that being said, let me say this. I did buy a box there, $90 for a year. I bought that back around Halloween, right at the end of October. And if you don't buy a box there, you can't receive anything that's been delivered by the Postal Service. Now, with UPS and FedEx, yeah, you can just go in and pay them the $5 every time a box comes in for you. You can do it that way without paying the yearly fee. But here's the catch, when you shop on Amazon, you never know who they're going to use to ship the product to you. They could use FedEx, they could use DHL, they could use UPS, or they could use the Postal Service, which is USPS. And if they choose to use USPS, then you're out of luck. It's going to go to the post office in Quartzsite, and then it's going to be automatically returned back to the person that shipped it to you. So you have to get a mailbox here, and there's several different ones. I think it's 3 different ones here in town. Mine is Moon Mountain Mail. There's another one called BCM and somebody else. I don't know anything about them, but my service at Moon Mountain Mail is pretty good. It really is, unless you have something that's shipped through the post office and it comes in on Friday, then you're gonna have to wait till Tuesday to receive it. So I've got one more piece of mail coming in, and then I'm free to leave Quartzsite. If it comes in today, that means I'll pick it up tomorrow. And I just happen to know that this particular piece of mail was shipped with the Postal Service. So gosh, I hope it doesn't come in on Friday. That means I can't pick it up until Tuesday. And that means I'll have to come all the way back to Quartzsite to pick up that one piece of mail, because I got to be in Mexico on Monday. So this could get complicated. So now you see why I found this important enough to tell you about, because this little weird catch in the mail service here could end up costing me 100 miles of out-of-the-way travel just to come all the way back here to pick up a piece of mail. And it's a tax document, so it's important, because I'll need to start on my taxes probably around the 7th of March. That's usually when I do it, around the end of the first week of March. And I'll take a whole day to do taxes so I can stay out of jail and pay Uncle Sam. Oh, this leads me to a whole nother batch of good information. If you get your health insurance through the marketplace on healthcare.gov, then they're going to send you a tax form every year. You have to be very particular and make sure you include that in your taxes when you do your taxes. If you don't, you will not qualify for health insurance the next year. So that's information you must know. But this piece of mail I have coming in is not that document. That document, you can just download it to your phone from healthcare.gov. What I'm waiting on is something else, which I probably could have downloaded, but I couldn't find it, so I just had them just mail it to me. So what else is there to cover? It's going to be a busy week coming up, so I plan on just probably heading on down toward the Yuma area and camping down there, probably around Thursday or Friday, and then going back to the dentist in Mexico on Monday. I'm assuming that'll take 2 or 3 days to get all that sorted out. And then once that's done, I am free to move about the country. All I'll have to be concerned with is finding a place to pull over for a day, somewhere quiet and camp so I can focus on my taxes. You know, I always end up having to pay on my taxes. I hear these stories of people getting money back on their taxes. How do you do that? Because I always end up having to pay more. I mean, even when I was working in Nashville, I would call HR and I was like, hey, how do I go in and change my withholding settings so I don't have to pay so much more at the end of the year? And they would try to tell me, set your withholdings to section number 2 or whatever it was. No matter what I did, I always end up having to pay like an extra $1,000 or something. And like last year, I still had to pay, I think it was another $400, was it? I can't really remember. But I've never gotten any money back. I don't know how people even work that out. If you know, leave it in the comments. I want to know, why am I not getting money back? Now, I did set up a small investment before I hit the road full time because I was trying to be smart about things. I didn't want to get out here and break down and be in a world of trouble. So, I don't rely on YouTube as income. So, I mean, some months are pretty decent and some months are terrible. So, I didn't want to end up really messing up my life because I had heard these horror stories about people that watched a couple of YouTube videos about van life and decided, well, that's what I'm going to do. And they just dropped everything and took out on the road and then realized you go through money pretty quick out here. Now, I live on an extremely tight budget because YouTube does not pay what people think it pays. No, not even close to what people think. So I'll probably pick up a job in the next 6 months or so. We'll see how the money's looking, but I always try to stay under $1,200 every month. And you might say, well, wow, that's really cheap. But it's not that way every month. Like last month and this month, I'll go well over that $1,200 simply because of the dentist bill. So any little thing could happen. I mean, tomorrow I could have a mechanical breakdown on the van. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. But I do budget. I mean, I watch my money like a hawk. Because for me, the whole point of doing this van life thing is to travel to places I would have never been able to travel to before. And to not work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day like I used to do for years and years. But I'm glad I sacrificed those first 3 years I lived in this van, working a full-time job, parking on the side of the street at night. I gave up a lot of comfort for freedom, and I'm glad I did. And I'm still giving up comfort for freedom because I'm still living in this low-top van. And I've come to realize unless you have really deep pockets, you are just going to have to give up comfort in order to have freedom. And there's just no way around that. I've made several videos that were titled Comfort versus Freedom. And yeah, I'd be much more comfortable in a high-top van, but it would kind of defeat the whole purpose for me, don't you think? So yeah, I just love freedom. That's just me personally. I'll trade anything. Just give me the freedom because I never really had it in life. And now I do. And once you have freedom, you just can't give it up. But I am smart enough to know as I get older, I'm going to have to trade in some of this freedom on some comfort because as you get older and your body breaks down, you're going to need a rig that you can stand up in. And I know that. I know that day will come. And I'm thinking ahead about that. Everybody's comfort level is different. So I guess we've covered about everything that needs to be covered today. I'm glad you stopped by. I'll check in later. Thanks for watching. Take care, be well, and smash the bell.